And somehow Ubell is still a deck in 2026. Make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. Now, painting the picture for this regional is quite interesting because that's a lot of Draco Tail. So as you've seen, as we've bounced back and forth between a lot of these regionals, there's going to be some common factors that we're going to see quite a lot. This one being, you know, Draco Tail being the powerhouse denominator and actually probably being one of the craziest decks in the room. Now, shockingly enough, the Magistus Draco Tail variant was the one that actually ended up winning this regional. Funny enough, well, it was just in general. Actually, it was just the regular version. All right, never mind. Poor Magistus build. Someday will maybe get a turnaround here. We also had Radiant Typhoon getting second place. This is not a shocking thing to see either. Radiant Typhoon has been doing pretty decent in terms of overall performance, but just sometimes, you know, we figured this deck would do a lot better in the early stages, but it has been a little bit of a slower grind. I guess not having Harpy's Featherstorm has, you know, kind of delayed us a little bit. We also have the unbridled power of Primite Odon. I don't know who thought combining those two decks together would get results, but this is not the first time we've seen this. This was a pretty big thing in the early stages of Japan, being able to use this, and the TCG was using it a little bit as well. Now, one of the coolest things that caught my attention was Unchained Yubel. We actually have, well, going back in a time capsule and digging out this combination pile that was able to, you know, kind of showcase some interesting results. It's been quite a little bit of a ride since we've seen this deck actually coming up and doing things, but it is here. We also have the unbridled power of Primite. Boys, you have two Primite variants within the top cut of this event. Like, it feels like we've gone back in a time capsule here, and we're showcasing some of the older ideas within the space of the format and actually having them work out here. It's not too bad. Next up, we have Albatross's first place Draco Tail finish. And if you're expecting, like, super interesting, like, innovative things with these lists, you're not really going to get them. The Draco Tail formula has been very much figured out, except for a couple things. This list is playing 2 Moonlit Chill instead of going with triple Droplet. So this is kind of the case of, we took out the 3rd Fallen of Virtuous, we took out the 3rd Droplet, we slotted in 2 Moonlit Chills. It kind of gives you more options just to kind of cover your bases. You know, maybe you draw the Moonlit Chill and you're able to use it as an interruption, which does kind of grant you a little bit more mobility. You know, having 2-2 split on these, I think, does work out pretty nicely for this. We've also got 1 Fallen and Virtuous down here in the side deck, which looks very, very strong. And same thing with the Droplet. You know, if you need to bring in those board breakers to kind of equalize what you're playing against, you have the tools to do so. Next up is Malbur's Radiant Typhoon strategy. Now, once again, we see this bounce back to Pot of Extract. And this has been a very consistent thing that we've seen within the meta of these smaller regionals, where players are relying on Extract to net them into their deck, to find those better resources to be able to play the game. And I don't blame people for, you know, looking at this card and actively believing that it is the savior of their problems, because honestly, it is. We also live in a format, like, if you go draw phase, you do, like, all the Crocea stuff, and then, you know, you deck thin the deck down a little bit. You can use the extra at the beginning of the main phase, obviously, after you've already done everything else, and congratulations, you know. There is no downside to using this in combination with the tools you got. That's why this card is very good. We're also side decking the 3rd Twins, which is fine. We've got Triple Dimensional Fissure. Well, we've seen how good Dimensional Fissure can be this format. Next up is Leio's Draco Tail top 4. Now, obviously, once again, we talk about these ratios here. Going with 2 copies of Fallen and Virtuous in the main deck. I see that this build has chosen to go with triple Incredible Ecclesia. Obviously, this is one of those tech choices that you look at and you go, all right, so this gives me another strong card to go second. It puts a body on the field for me to work with. It allows me to, you know, tribute it to go into the Fallen of Albaz to bring out another Incredible Ecclesia. There's just there's a lot of good that maximizing on this card can provide you with for your strategy. It's just going to depend on, is this going to be good enough for what you yourself want this for? I do see we're also side decking 2 Fenrirs. This is also going to come up a lot now, where, you know, Fenrir into Fenrir, and then you can use the other one as fusion fodder while still maintaining, you know, the Fenrir on the field for the form of interruption. It's actually not too bad. Next up is Primite Odon by Albert. So this is where Angel's Trumpeter gets a chance to come in, because obviously free level 4. We can do things with it. You know, we get access to the Redoer, which is all fine and hunky-dory. What I find a little bit interesting is we're only playing a singular copy of the Man with the Mark. This is, I mean, you're also not doing a lot of the extra little fat that you would do with the Odeon good stuff. It's just, we get the Man with the Mark going, we have the field spell interactions, and then, you know, we're just using what little traps that we have to kind of provide some sort of form of interruption for you to kind of work through, which it has its merits, I will say. It's just, when you look at this initially, it's going to feel a little bit weird because it doesn't look like a traditional Odeon list in the sense of the tools that you've got going for you, but it is definitely still a strong contender for sure. Next up, we have Roario's Ubell Unchained pile. Now, this isn't even going too crazy with the Unchained stuff. You have the one Shavara in here, and you have the one Abomination, so that you can feed them off of the traps. That is about as standard as it really gets with this. We're also playing one Ubell, one Terra Incarnate. We're not going into the bigger form. As much as I do find the bigger form to be very fun and, you know, enabling for some of the fun combos that we've done, it's just not really worth it. I do see we're also playing 1-for-1 to unload combo. We have the spell, or the Mature Chronicle in here as well. Still playing, you know, probably the best little cards. We have the Dark Beckoning Beast. Due to, like, limitations on this deck, though, this deck doesn't really get the chance to be the explosive powerhouse it used to be. We also do have Illusion Gate in here, which is going to open up some funny doors for what you can play around with. So, respect to seeing Ubell actually performing. Next up, we have Deby Draco Tail Challenger with the Magistus package. And remember, Zorowa is a tuner monster. This is why we love Zorowa as a card, because you're able to toggle this out and then kind of get to the Incredible Ecclesia. It's one more reverse way to make this. Now, I will say, there is no extra fat in here. We're not playing the Fallen of the White, which is kind of interesting, honestly. So that means our dedication is to Zorowa, or going into this. We can also make the Invoked Magistus. This card feels pretty disgusting when it does actually come down. I have enjoyed how strong this card can be. I see we have Pinkertopses as well. Pink has been showing up in some stupid ways to be able to detour some of the meta. I've actually quite enjoyed watching Pinkertops's developments into the existing meta, just because, like, he is a good card. Next up, we have Klaus's Blue Eyes White Dragon Special. Ooh, we don't even get a side deck for this. Wow. So, we are playing the one of for the... Oh, we're not even playing Dragon Master Magia. What? Are we actually deploying Chaos Max in this list? Is we have to be, right? Or our extra deck is missing the... Well, I mean, we have the Tyrant Dragon. This is interesting. I guess you're just trying to ritual summon this card. And actually, I don't think decks actually have an answer to this right now. He's just going to be a big 4K body that your opponent's going to have to deal with. Can't be destroyed by battle card effects is pretty broken. And also, you know, if you do see defense mode monsters, this card might actually just win you games. I'm more impressed that, you know, we've got the Primite traps built in with Scream. I don't know. This just looks like a very interesting list. And then we have the last Draco Tail variant out of this event. 2 Incredible Ecclesia is fine. I see we're side decking triple Fenrir, but we've also got the old name Albaz on the side decks. We're going 2 Fallen and White, 2 Incredible Ecclesia. So, I mean, I guess if you do have to bring this out of an Incredible Ecclesia to, you know, contact up the opponent's field, you actually do have the ability to do so. See, we're also playing the Albalenitus in here as well. We have toolbox options available in this list to do some, what I would consider very, very scary things within the meta. So definitely A-list for sure. But please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.